Oh, I shut the thing. Oh, is it on?
No, I'm not going to vote. I'm working. Oh, yeah. I know. The people marching me out. All right. When it counts, and they vote for the federal tax.
Yeah.
They used to be.
What's up, revolutionaries? DC here, ourrevolution.tv. Make sure you subscribe and get notifications for when we go live, where we are currently in downtown LA, Pershing Square, for the Medicare4All rally that has been organized by Kenneth Mejia for Congress, a Green candidate running in the special election for District 34 here in Los Angeles, downtown LA and surrounding neighborhoods, to replace Javier Becerra's seat, who is the new AG here in California. And Kenneth is running in this, he's on the ballot for this special election, which is on April 4th. There's a total of 20 candidates running in this open primary here in this district. It's the only election for a U.S. House seat this year. And it's going to be a pretty low turnout, so is what they're expecting. So it's a good opportunity to make history, folks. We can actually put a Green in Congress. He would be the youngest, the first Green, and the first Filipino to be in Congress. And he's a millennial doing what Bernie wanted people to do, was run for office. They decided on the date of the election, told the candidates they could pay $1,700 or gather 300 or so signatures to get on the ballot. Well, Kenneth didn't have the money. It's a grassroots movement. So they knocked on doors and went out and got signatures, and of the amount that they collected, over 400, and actually it is increased, I think 480 were valid signatures. So he is on the ballot for April 4th, along with about 20 other Democratic candidates who paid the fee to get in. And Our Revolution is the organization, not associated with Our Revolution TV. That's just me and my opinion. But the organization, Our Revolution, is thinking of endorsing someone in this race. And they have an online survey from the members of Our Revolution, or people who are interested, to choose who they should endorse. And Kenneth, a Green, is on that list, which is very interesting. He was a Bernie-crat. He ran actually in the previous election as a write-in candidate, and he received 1,200 write-ins. They were able to spell his name correctly, M-E-J-I-A, Kenneth Mejia, Mejia4Congress.com. So check him out, and he's going to be speaking today along with a number of people. This is a real people's grassroots march. There's no organizations involved other than Kenneth's grassroots. All the folks here in yellow vests are all volunteers with Kenneth. And this is literally a grassroots, bottom-up campaign. You can support him at his crowd pack. You can get there through Mejia4Congress.com. And you can phone bank for him out of state. People out of state can phone bank for him, and there's an opportunity to volunteer on his website. So we can do this. This is historic, and I'm going to bring you this march and rally when we get there. We're starting here at Pershing Square. If you live in Los Angeles, come on down. It's a beautiful day here in LA. The rain is past. We're in between rainstorms, and it's a gorgeous day. We're marching from Pershing Square to the downtown to City Hall, and where there'll be a rally with some speakers who are affected by our current healthcare system, and why they feel that a Medicare4All system will not only save us billions of dollars, but it'll get everybody covered. And the Republicans don't have a replacement for the ACA anyway. So we do. As a matter of fact, John Conyers has introduced HR 676, which does just that. Expands Medicare to all Americans, all residents of America, and makes Medicare better. So check that out and enjoy the sights and sounds of this rally here. Kenneth Mejia for Congress and a Medicare4All rally, marching and rallying for something. Of course, there are the anti-Trump groups here have started to show up, and some masked folks. You know, everybody. It's a free speech zone, if you will, our country. So here we are. We're expecting it to be a peaceful march. It's totally permitted, and don't expect any problems. Kenneth's already been meeting with the police, but he's done this all himself, folks. He is really a community organizer. Homelessness is one of his major concerns. He was born in Sylmar, California, lived in this district for a long time, and has done really great work here. So this is his rally, and he believes that healthcare is a right for everyone, and that's one of his platforms, part of his platform, which of course is the green platform. So this is history, folks. Enjoy. Sorry?
So we get everybody off the
Remember what the route was again? We're going to go here and make a left on what?
Good question. I don't remember either. Independent media here. NBC local news truck is here. About 2,500 people RSVP'd for this event. Lots of other folks interested. So share this stream with folks on the event page. They can't make it down here. Lots of volunteers. There's Kenneth talking with the folks, getting everything squared away. Kenneth is an accountant. Bachelor of Science in Accounting. Raised by a single mom. Working mom. Got inspired by Bernie Sanders to get political. Political revolution. Jimmy Dore's like, aren't all revolutions political? Yeah, I guess so. Independent media. Oh, that's NBC. corporate media and independent media.
Test, test, test. Can everybody hear me? Perfect. So we're going to get started with speeches in about 5 minutes. So if people want to get close to the stairs, and we'll get started soon.
If you're just joining, this is the march and rally for Medicare4All, downtown LA, Pershing Square to City Hall, put together by Green Party candidate Kenneth Mejia. Healthcare is a right. Coming out on a Saturday, lots of other stuff to do this day here in California, as global and national protests of Donald Trump continue around the country. This is a rally and march for something, as well as there are voices of dissent here. No organization behind this march. This is grassroots.
What do we want? Now! When do we want it? Now!
Kenneth is a great organizer. He's a great personality. Really just, takes action. He's not sitting at home tweeting like me. One local news media, sorry. So this rally is going to be pretty informative. Good information about how we can make this an actual possibility, this Medicare for All. As I said earlier, John Conyers has introduced a bill in U.S. H.R. 676 to expand Medicare for all American residents. There is a plan, folks. Estimates are that it'll save us over $400 billion by basically cutting out the middleman. There's also this illusion that Medicare is free. Well, Medicare isn't free. People actually pay premiums for Medicare, adjusted for income. And even if you're on Social Security only, you pay for Medicare. The state of California takes care of that, but not in every state.
United will never be divided. The people united will never be
Lots of streamers.
The people
Lots of digital media.
will never be divided. The people united will never be divided. The people united will never be divided. The people united will never be divided. The people.
Okay.
doctors for Medicare for All. I'm not a doctor, but I've played one on TV.
No fascist USA! No Trump! No KKK! No fascist USA! No Trump! No KKK! No fascist USA! No Trump! No KKK! No fascist USA! Okay, let's keep on.
Message. Trying to stay on message here. This is a Medicare for All rally. Of course, there is still continued national and global protests this weekend, weekend 3 of Trump's presidency. So, of course, we're going to hear that out here. But they're trying to keep it on message. This is a rally for Medicare for All, and there's a lot of great speakers that are individuals that are personally affected by our healthcare system. So, we're trying to keep the conversation on issues. And, Donald Trump did actually, in one of his iterations, believed in a Medicare for All single-payer system. So maybe Bernie and he can do a deal.
You guys hold it behind here. Thank you everybody for coming here today. Good to see everybody. How's everybody feeling? Everybody feeling like they're gonna fight for Medicare for all? Fantastic. That's what we gotta do. And that's why we're here today. We're here to fight on the issues of guaranteeing health care as a right, because it should be a nonpartisan issue, and no one should have to die or not receive the health care they need because they don't have the money. Am I right? So, my name is Kenneth Mejia, and this is not about me, this is not about any one of us individually, it's about all of us as a collective. And we're here today to learn about Medicare for All through a single payer system and to become educated, and also, not only when we leave here today, but also come up with action items when we go home. Am I right? Yeah! Because real change takes place not at a rally for 2 hours, but what we do back home in our communities. Am I right? Yeah! Fantastic. So we're gonna get it started. We have 3 speakers here. The way it's gonna go is we're gonna basically do some speeches. We're gonna head down 5th, make a left on Broadway, make a right on 1st, and then left on Spring, and we're right there at City Hall for the even bigger rally. We did this as a people. We're not getting sponsors. We're not receiving thousands of dollars to be here. This is us. This is the people. And that's what I want you all to know, that this is people power coming together, and this is going to be big. And when the time comes to fight for healthcare as a right, we're going to be there, and we're going to see each and every one of you times 20, because you're going to tell your friends and family. Am I right? Yeah! All right, so to kick it off, we're going to start with Lisa Salbury. Give it up for Lisa. She's one of my good friends. She is very active in the movement. And she's here today to share with you her personal experience as well, and also as an entrepreneur, and why she's fighting for healthcare as a right. So give it up for Lisa Salbury.
Hey, hi there. Thanks to everyone who's here. And oh, sorry, that's better. Hi. So Medicare for All affects us all. That's a big issue. It affects even their jobs, because basically right now, the job, health insurance is often a benefit, not a right, a benefit that you can get on a particular job. And I noticed that when I went to try to become an entrepreneur for about a couple of years, and one of my biggest costs was my health insurance. I was almost $400 a month. It was basically catastrophic, which meant it basically covered me if I needed hospital or emergency care. It was the deductible for doctor's visits had to be met first. It was $5,000. It was my deductible. The out-of-pocket was, again, another $3,000. I wasn't even sure what that meant. What was the deductible? What was the out-of-pocket? So as an entrepreneur, that was one of my biggest costs, $5,000 for the year. And I was it was all on me. So I ended up going back to full-time jobs. But what I'm saying is power to the people is when we own our own health insurance, not our employers, not the health insurance industry, right? We own it, we take it with us. And it's for all the members in our family. We don't have to beg or ask or plead or have a union bargain for us. It's ours. If we want to be an entrepreneur, if we're a student, if we're unemployed, if we're a stay-at-home parent, whatever we're doing, that we are covered. Medicare for All is an existing system. So it's much easier to have an existing system to expand it. So it goes from prenatal to the grave, so that people are covered. We also have one of the highest baby mortality rates in the world, so in the developed countries. And this is one of the ways that people know they don't have to worry about a copay. They don't have to worry about a deductible. They don't have to worry about out of pocket. They don't have to worry about their health insurance company saying, "Oh, we're no longer doing business with this hospital group," or you can't have your doctor anymore because we're not having them on our plan anymore. So this also gives us the power of 350 million other Americans when we go to the table with the big pharma and the drug companies, and they cannot do things like they pulled with the EpiPen. Okay? We'll say, well, nobody's going to buy it. We're all here on the same side. You have to negotiate with us. You can't call the shots anymore. So Medicare for All is really power to the people, bringing healthcare to the people. So all of us own our healthcare, not them. This is for us. Who's with me?
Thank you. Give it up for Lisa Salve. All right, our next speaker coming up is a very special speaker. Her name is Kylene, and she's suffering from multiple sclerosis. And so we're here to support her today, and she's here to share her story about why she's fighting for Medicare for All through a single-payer system. So let's make some noise for Kylene. Making some noise.
Okay, thank you so much. Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here. Louder, can you hear me? Okay, my name is Kylene Wolfstein, and I suffer from a chronic illness known as multiple sclerosis. Okay, for which there is no known cause and no known cure. Multiple sclerosis is an autoimmune disease that attacks my body's central nervous system, and on any given day, I experience a myriad of symptoms such as blindness, debilitating fatigue, headaches, dizziness, difficulty walking, weakness, and cognitive changes. And while I'm hoping for a cure, I'm not in denial about the end stages of MS not being pretty. Many people are left paraplegic, quadriplegic, and unable to breathe or eat on their own. The only option I have is preventative care, meaning that I need to take a disease-modifying medication every day to slow down the progression of the disease. The name of the medication I take is called Tecfidera, and the out-of-pocket cost is $6,000 a month.
Gotcha.
Limiting my stress,
Gotcha.
eating healthy, and exercise are also an important part of managing my disease. But limiting my stress has been hard to do. As a result of having MS, I am now on the brink of declaring bankruptcy, becoming homeless, and losing my cats. 3.5 years ago, I suddenly went blind and was taken to the hospital. Later that night, after a series of MRIs and other tests, I was diagnosed with MS and kept in the hospital for the next 6 days. Weeks later, I received my first 2 invoices in the mail, although many more would follow. One was for almost $5,000, and the other was for $800. I knew I didn't have the money, but it almost seemed like a good deal considering the total cost of the hospital stay was $75,000, and I thought it was generous that my insurance company was paying $69,000 of it. At that time, I had an individual insurance policy through Blue Shield, and the monthly payments were around $300 with an annual deductible of $6,500. In a blink of an eye, I went from being healthy with good credit to being sick with $6,000 in medical debt. The following 2 years snowballed as I continued to max out my deductibles, have high co-pays, and even higher monthly premiums. My existence turned into paying rent and medical-related expenses. As a 34-year-old college graduate that has worked my whole life, paid into Social Security, and paid my taxes, I never thought I'd be faced with the possibility of becoming homeless. Medical debt has depleted my savings and it's obliterated my credit. Because I'm on temporary disability due to not feeling well, my income is considered below the poverty line. I need to move next month, and I'm literally faced with the choice of paying health insurance or paying my rent. On top of that, I can't help but think, who wants to rent to an impoverished person with bad credit, no savings, and an unpredictable debilitating disease? It's terrifying. I went to the Housing and Urban Development County office to see what kind of assistance is available, and I found out that Section 8 housing waiting list in LA has been closed since 2009. It's almost as if chronically ill and disabled people should waste away in the streets. So why is this happening? It's happening because of our predatory healthcare system. It's driven by greed. We are all being targeted by it. Not only the people that are sick, but people that are well and might become sick. Nobody is exempt. Doctors are also being targeted and exploited by insurance and drug companies. My neurologist told me that insurers are now paying him around $27 per patient visit. That's less than the cost of 2 movie tickets. When we discussed the stress of the financial issues related to having MS, it was clear that he is being negatively impacted by the hijacking of our healthcare system as much as I am. He deserves better. I'd also like to acknowledge the doctors and researchers out there who work hard every day at finding cures and treatments for illnesses, only to find out that their hard work will only be available to a small percentage of people. I've been asked why I pay $437 a month for health insurance when I might be eligible for Medi-Cal. Well, I'll tell you. Medi-Cal does not cover the cost of the medication I need. As I stated earlier, the out-of-pocket cost for the drug I take is $6,000 a month. If I switch to Medi-Cal, I would have to switch to a medication called Tisabre. Tisabre has a high risk of causing a deadly brain infection in people, the deadly brain infection is called PML, and it's likely in people that are positive for something called the JC virus. I am positive for the JC virus. So going on Medi-Cal is literally risking my life. It's not an option for me. There are a couple other medications that Medi-Cal would cover, but my neurologist says that neither of those are strong enough to stop the progression. So again, do I pay my rent or do I pay my health insurance? Nobody should ever have to ask themselves this question. Everybody deserves health care. America is the only civilized country in the world to have an uncivilized healthcare system. The reason there is not equal access boils down to one issue, and it's profit. Our healthcare system is a system of organized crime, where a few profit at the expense of many. When the number one cause of bankruptcy in America is medical debt, and when there are more pharmaceutical lobbyists in Washington than big oil, guns, and tobacco combined, it's clear that this is a situation of good versus evil. I know my life has value, so today I stand here and I fight for it. And since this fight is a matter of life or death, I will not stop until we win. We won't stop until we accomplish our goal of implementing a single-payer system and making healthcare accessible to every person that needs it.
Give it up to Kenneth one more time. Thank you, Colleen, for your courage. If she can fight for Medicare for all through a single-payer system, so can we. Am I right? Next up, our last speaker for here, before we start marching, is Dr. Yasser Giron. He's a primary care physician in Santa Ana, and he has organized with Physicians for a National Health Program and Physicians for Social Responsibility. Dr. Giron is a strong advocate for a single-payer system, and he's for improved Medicare for all healthcare system. And let's make some noise for Dr. Giron, please.
Brothers, sisters, friends, thank you for this invitation to speak to you today. It is truly a great honor to be here with you all. And thank you, Brother Kenneth Mejia, for his invitation and for his courage to speak out and to run for Congress outside the two-party system. I am here as a physician. I am here as a person of color to say that I am sick and tired of this broken healthcare system. For too many years, we have lived under a system that puts profits over people's lives. A system run by greedy corporations and their equally greedy politician supporters from both established parties. We have a system that bankrupts families, allows people to die waiting to get care, allows people to go untreated with their diseases. We have a system that is meant to keep us sick and broken. And now, folks, with this full corporate fascist takeover of the US government, we can expect things to get worse. Our only solution is to fight for single-payer healthcare. To fight for a system based on social justice and based on the idea that healthcare is a human right. That healthcare is a human right. We must follow the lead of the water protectors at Standing Rock. We must follow the lead of the LGBTQI movement. We must follow the lead of the immigrant rights movement, of the women's movement, of the movement to end the death penalty. We must follow the lead of the people organizing against this racist Muslim ban. And we must follow the lead of the people organizing the movement to free Palestine. We must organize, we must revolt, we must resist until we get single-payer healthcare. I want to leave you with a moving quote from Frederick Douglass. At a time like who Donald Trump thinks is still alive, has anyone seen Frederick Douglass? That's an alternative fact, right? That he's still alive. At this time, at a time like this, scorching irony, not convincing argument is needed. Oh, had I the ability and could reach the nation's ear, I would today pour forth a fiery stream of biting ridicule, blasting reproach, withering sarcasm, and stern rebuke. For it is not light that is needed, but fire. It is not the gentle shower, but thunder. We need the storm, the whirlwind, the earthquake. The feeling of the nation must be quickened. The conscience of the nation must be roused. The propriety of the nation must be startled. The hypocrisy of the nation must be exposed. And the crimes against God and man must be proclaimed and denounced. Thank you, everybody. I can't hear you. All right, give it up for Dr. Garone. He's ready to march. So right now, we're going to be marching over to City Hall. So once you hear the speaker blast again, I'm going to walk over there. We're going to head down this way. Make sure you make some way. We have people here in wheelchairs to make pathway. It's on the very left when you're walking down, so please make sure you make some space. So we're all going to head down there right now. So make some noise. Let's do this, everybody.
It's DC here, OurRevolution.tv. Make sure you subscribe, get notifications for when we go live, because these are happening more and more. We're at the rally and march for Medicare for All, downtown LA, starting here in Pershing Square. Just had the first part of the rally here. Good showing of people. About 2,500 people did RSVP for this. Don't quite have that here right now, but the main rally is happening at City Hall, and we're about to start marching there right now. So I'll bring you the march as well as what's going on once we land here at City Hall. And this is a rally and march organized by the Green candidate in the special election for District 34 here in Los Angeles. Chance to send the first Green ever and first Millennial to U.S. Congress, replacing Javier Becerra's seat. So, as he said, it's not about him, and as Bernie said, it's not about him, but he is a real community organizer and is doing what Bernie called for. So here we go. Here's the march. How are you? Hey, good to see you. Can't see mine. We're the cooler. Sorry? All right. Yeah, I'm one of the co-chairs.
Everybody just gather in the intersection, now we'll get started. Don't get any closer, just stay back there. Perfect. Do we have any banners? Any banners for Medicare for All? If you want to be in the front with the banners, let's go up here. Wow, there's a lot of people. Is everyone here to fight for Medicare for All? Wow, that's a lot of people, and we got people over there at City Hall too, ready to fight as well.
Let me say real quick. Just one word.
Hey, you chill out. You chill out, buddy. Chill out. Chill out. Chill
Fuck
out.
Donald Trump. Fuck Donald Trump. Watch out.
Chill.
Hey.
All right. We're going to get started chanting soon. Everyone get closer.
Donald Trump. Fuck him. Fuck Donald Trump. Fuck Donald Trump.
All right. We're good. We're here for Medicare for All. We're here to fight for health insurance. If we're here to fight for health care as a right. Am I right? All right. So everybody, we're going to start walking and we're going to start chanting. So our first chant will be very simple. Medicare for all. Medicare for all. Medicare for all. Medicare for all. So let's start marching. Medicare for all.
Fuck Donald Trump.
Let's go. Louder.
Medicare for all.
Louder.
Medicare for all.
Medicare for all. Medicare for all. Medicare for all. Medicare for all. Medicare for all.
Medicare for all.
Louder.
Medicare for all.
Let's go.
Medicare for all.
There we go.
Medicare for all.
Yes.
Medicare for all.
Yes. Medicare for all. Medicare for all. Medicare for all.
Medicare for all. Medicare for all. Medicare for all. Medicare for all.
There we go.
Medicare for all. 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 Medicare for all.
agitator down here, not happy with Donald Trump. But we're trying to keep the message positive and for something today, and that's Medicare for all.
We're all here today to fight for healthcare as a right. No one's life should be priced based on the bottom line, am I right? We are here today to fight for one another, our sisters and brothers. Regardless of the color of your skin, regardless of how much money you make or what political party you're in, we're here today to fight for the bigger issue, and that's our lives and our health, am I right? Yes! Beautiful, so let's keep the chants going. Beautiful, you can hear them over there. We're going to be walking through up Broadway. We got people here. Let's make sure to make our voices heard. Let's make it loud. We probably got about 10 more minutes till we end up at City Hall. So let's chant. It's time to fight for healthcare as a right. It's time to fight for healthcare as a right. It's time to fight for healthcare as a right. It's time to fight for healthcare as a right. It's time to fight for healthcare as a right. It's time to fight for healthcare as a right. Hey, it's time to fight for healthcare as a right. Louder. It's time to fight for healthcare as a right. It's time to fight for healthcare as a right. It's time to fight for healthcare as a right. It's time to fight for healthcare as a right. Fight for healthcare as a right. It's time to fight for healthcare as a right. It's time to fight for healthcare as a right. It's time to fight for healthcare as a right. It's time to fight for healthcare as a right. It's time to fight for healthcare as a right. It's time to fight for healthcare as a right. What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? Healthcare. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Healthcare. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Healthcare. When do we want it? Now. Perfect. So we're gonna stop right here and wait for more people to come on and join us. But everybody make some noise. Let's get the people involved. We got the cars over here. No! We're here to fight for healthcare as a right. We're here to fight for one another to make sure our lives are not decided by a company's bottom line. Am I right? Yeah! That's what I'm talking about. So we're here for a couple more minutes until people come by. But let's chat. Let's let these people here in these cars. Medicare for all. 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 There we go. Medicare for all. Louder. Medicare for all. Louder. Medicare for all. Beautiful. Medicare for all. Medicare for all. Medicare for all. Let's keep moving. Make it louder. Medicare for all. 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 Medicare for all.
What's up, revolutionaries? This is the Medicare for All March downtown LA, organized by Kenneth Mejia, Green, running for Congress here at District 34 special election in April for Javier Becerra's seat. And trying to stay on message here, which is for Medicare for All. There's some anti-Trump folks here, a couple of Trump supporters over at Pershing Square. Seemed a little confused. Looked like they were going to try to disrupt, but they just kind of left. And then we had an intoxicated fella, not a fan of Trump, that the police eventually did arrest because he was harassing the mic and the speaker and Kenneth, and we didn't want to have anything happen, I guess, so they set him aside for a little while. This is a permitted march. Good turnout. Looking pretty good marching down the street here. We're going to get to City Hall where the big rally is going to happen. And if you're in LA, come on down. If not, share the link. And this is the voice of resistance here at ourrevolution.tv.
Is that right? No! So that's why we're here today. We're here today to march. We're here to be educated on the issues. We're here to fight for a Medicare for all single-payer system. Am I right? So let's keep chanting. We're going to go right there to 1st Street, make a right, and then we're going to make a left on Spring, and we're right at City Hall. So let's chant, Medicare for all. Medicare for all. Medicare for all. Medicare for all. Medicare for all! 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 Everyone, Medicare for all! Medicare for all! Coming up the end. All right, let's see if I can catch up with the front. Best sign ever.
People united will never be divided. The 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 people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated.
And Republicans don't have a plan, but we do. Medicare for All. And as a matter of fact, Representative John Conyers has introduced a bill, H.R. 676, which would do that right now. Make every American resident a member of Medicare and to fix Medicare so it's stable, save money, it's ready to go. So Republicans, Donald Trump wanted Medicare for all, single payer. at some point in his life. Why not get something for your tax dollars?
Medicare for all! Medicare for all! Medicare for all! Medicare
Healthcare, not wealth care. That was another good sign.
Medicare for all! Medicare for all!
Because that's what we got going, really. Wealth care.
Medicare for all! Medicare for all! Medicare
Socialism for the rich and rugged individualism for the rest of us.
Medicare for all! 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 It's time to fight! The healthcare is a right! It's time to fight! The healthcare is a right! It's time to fight! The healthcare is a right! It's time to fight! The healthcare is a right! Hey, it's time to fight! The healthcare is a right! It's time to fight! Here we go! The healthcare is a right! Wow, so many people. Everybody make some noise. Everybody make some noise. Might be a couple thousand here. Beautiful, beautiful. So we're almost here at City Hall. We're going to make our voices be heard. We're going to be educated on the issue of a Medicare for all single-payer system. And we're going to fight. We're going to fight against Trump. And we're going to fight against any politician that stands in our way. Am I right? Because it's all about the people. Power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people. I said power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people. The people united will never be divided. 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 United. We're almost there. Make it louder. United will never be divided. The people 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 united will never be divided.
A couple thousand people, I think. Maybe a little less now in this march, but arriving with more people at City Hall, downtown LA. March for Medicare for All. We're marching for something. Yeah, sure, we're resisting Trump. But we want to see people out that are looking to do something for this country. Donald Trump at one point did believe in single-payer health care. Coming up at the end of the march here. Making our way to City Hall here in downtown LA. Medicare for All march organized by that young man at the front, the bullhorn, the microphone, Kenneth Mejia, a Green running for Congress in an election this year in April. Kenneth Mejia for Congress. We have a major to send a Green, the first Green to Congress from the Los Angeles area. Bernie won this district. Jill Stein did very well in this district. So more than half of the residents of District 34 are independent. And there is a strong anti-establishment feeling. The primary, it's an open primary, 20 candidates All Democrats, I believe, except for Kenneth. He's a Green. I don't think there's any Republicans. It's a strong, strong Democratic district. And this is a special election to replace Javier Becerra's seat. And it's the only congressional election this year. And it's going to be a low turnout. With 20 candidates in an open top 2 primary. Open meaning anybody can vote, as long as you live in the district.
And you know, we'll have a couple of tax.
Now! I'd say he qualifies as a community organizer. There's no groups involved with this march. This is a completely grassroots organized march.
I'm a martyr.
City Hall. Mejia, the number 4 Congress. This is his website. You can phone bank from any state. If you're green somewhere, the Green Party, everybody should get the hell out here and get this kid in Congress.
When you just do
Is that like defeat purpose?
Actual address that was on the
Stephen, black man for Bernie. He's a Green. Been a Green his whole life. Working for the cause. You're hearing the voice of Kenneth. Share this broadcast, folks. Tweet it, share it on Facebook. Especially if you're a Green. This is an organic rally created by a 26-year-old young man with an amazing heart and energy and a leader. And I know he says it's not about him, but this is all about him. He created this. No groups, no institutions, no parties. Party is just getting behind him now that he's on the ballot. He got on the ballot with signatures, did not pay the fee, which all the other candidates, as far as we know, did. And he needed 322 signatures. He got way over 700, and over 480 of those were verified. So he's on the ballot, and now the Greens are saying they're going to support him. So if you know any Greens, anybody in the party, David Cobb, Jill Stein, Mel, hey Mel, come support this kid. Keep saying kid. I don't mean that disparagingly. I mean that in the sense that he is the next generation. He's 26 years old, and he's getting involved. Not breaking ATMs, not throwing trash cans through windows.
We're down with that.
We will not give up the fight. Healthcare is a human right. We will not give up the fight.
Make sure you sign up for Medicare4All, okay? We're here to get educated, so not only are we here to chant and make our voices be heard, but also get information and learn about single payer. We have people here, so you can go back home and share the word as well.
Damn, yeah. That's it up.
No, you're good. I mean, somebody thirsty? Water. Somebody thirsty?
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like.
Not all chants were successful. That's a good one.
We will resist. What?
We will resist.
We will resist. We will resist.
We will resist. We will resist.
then every other centralized agency has less education. And that's what we're already spending way too much per person in the United States for healthcare. But yet we have 29 million people. Well, Mejia,
All right, we're going to get started in about 5-10 minutes, but make sure you guys check out what the tables we have here. They're signing people up for more information on how we can fight for healthcare as a right, Medicare for all through a single payer system. Because change doesn't happen with chanting, am I right? It's about what we do when we go home. Just like any movement, we got to stay on top of it. Change doesn't take place in 2 hours at City Hall, am I right? So we're going to fight, so make sure you guys get educated. There are people walking around signing people up for Campaign for a Healthy California, so you can learn more about a Medicare for All single payer system. Raise your hand if you know what a single payer system is. Alright, that's not a lot of people. The people who didn't raise their hand, you need to get to these tables right here and learn about single payer. And this is what we talked about. Bring your notebook and a pen, because this is where we learn. This is where we go back to our communities, and this is where we get educated. And this is where we fight back against the billion-dollar health insurance companies. Am I right? Perfect. So keep on chatting. We're going to start in 5 minutes. It's time to fight for healthcare as a right. It's time to fight for healthcare as a right. What? It's time to fight. Say what? For healthcare as a right. Say what? It's time to fight. Hey. For healthcare as a right. Hey. It's time to fight. For healthcare as a right. It's time to fight. For healthcare as a right. It's time to fight. For healthcare as a right. It's time to fight. For healthcare as a right. It's time to fight. For healthcare is right. It's time to fight. For healthcare is right. It's time to fight. For healthcare is right.
There's Sheila.
It's time to fight.
She's easy to find with that umbrella.
It's time to fight. For healthcare is right. It's time to fight. For healthcare is right. It's time to fight. For healthcare is right. It's time to fight. For healthcare is right.
She wants to know if we want to do general development.
We're going to start in 6 minutes at 12:20, so make sure you walk around, you have time, get some pamphlets, sign up, so you can learn more, okay? Really, don't stand around, talk to others.
So, as Kenneth said, it's really about education. It's about learning about what single payer is, what Medicare4All is, how it works, and how it's going to save the country $400 billion just in eliminating waste. And it's paid for. This plan is there. Bernie had the plan. There's other plans out there. John Conyers, Representative John Conyers, has a Medicare4All bill, HR 676, currently in the House. Not that it's going to go anywhere, but we can pressure them, pressure your representatives, wherever you are. Maybe it's doable. They don't have a plan. We do. And it works. Inform yourself.
What do we want? Healthcare. What do we want it? Now. I said, what do we want? Healthcare. I said, when do we want it? Now. I said, what do we want? Healthcare. When do we want it? Now. I said, what do we want? Healthcare. I said, when do we want it? Now. Perfect. Everybody make some noise. We're going to get started soon. Is Roxana Graves here? Roxana, please come here. We're going to get started. All the speakers, please come here. We're going to get started soon. What do we want? Healthcare. When do we want it? Now. I said, what do we want? Healthcare. I said, when do we want it? Now. What do we want? Healthcare. When do we want it? Now. Make some noise, yeah. There we go. All right, I think we'll just get it started. So, everybody get closer, so everyone can hear you. Can hear us, hear all of us? Perfect. So we're all here gathered today to fight for healthcare as a right. Because as you know, the United States is the only major industrialized country to not provide healthcare as a right. So I think it's overdue. Yep, boo. I agree. And I think that's why we're all here. What's happened over the past year, this election cycle, it's been a mess. And we realize now it's time for us to come out to the streets, to get educated, to learn how we can get involved and take plans of actions. Am I right? Yeah. Because we're not going to just sit here and let people make the decisions for us. Am I right? Yeah. Because who has the power? The people have the power, right? Yeah. Power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people. Perfect. So we'll just get started right now with our first set of speakers for the rally. So I'm going to bring up Roxana Graves. She's a paralegal and she works with Social Security and Medicare. And she's going to tell you the importance of why we need it. So please make some noise for Roxana!
Hi everybody. How's it going? How many of you are Medicare beneficiaries right now? Raise your hand. So without Medicare, we know that these people who raise their hands right now, can you hear me now? Hi. So those people that raise their hands are dependent on Medicare. And so I'm here to talk to you about how ugly it is without Medicare and how hard people have to fight just to get Medicare benefits. So I'm a Social Security paralegal. I work for a little law firm out in Encino, California. And one of my sole purposes of my job is to help people get Social Security. Because Social Security and Medicare are tied into each other. You cannot get Medicare in this country unless you are getting Social Security. So that's one step that you have to fight for your life to get Medicare. And that's unfair, isn't it? Yeah! We should just have it. Yeah! So I've been working as an advocate for helping educate Medicare beneficiaries of the benefits they have and educate people who are trying to get Medicare how they have to go through those steps. So I help people that are too ill and injured to work get Social Security so they can get adequate health care. But many of my clients are waiting for their cases to be approved for disability, and I can faithfully tell you that they're hanging on by a thread right now. Many of them have financially lost everything. They are dependent on low-income subsidies for Medi-Cal, for their health care services and medications. So these further cuts of privatizing these socialized healthcare programs are making them so unaffordable that it's a death sentence to people. These Americans are desperate to have Medicare. Donald Trump is a liar. He does want to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, and I'm going to tell you how that is a death sentence, because I see and I work with it every single day. Before the Affordable Care Act, I dealt with death on a too frequent basis. Before Medi-Cal was extended to all low-income people in California, many of my clients were unable to get any access to affordable health care. They were dependent on free clinics that are stretched to the brim. They don't have the capacity or the funding to help and even prescribe medication half of the time. Some of them died as a result. Many of them filed for bankruptcy because they were unable to pay the high medical bills. These were people who were hurt the most, and those people that were hurt the most were between the ages of 24 years old and 61 years old. What? That is the age that we are all working. That's the working age. And these people couldn't get health care because unless they had a child under 18 or had a dependent, they were not eligible for Medi-Cal or Medicaid at all. So if we repeal the ACA, people are going to die. We cannot go backwards into those dark days. In addition to expanding Medicare for all, I think that California, this beautiful state that we're all in right now, like the sun is shining and it's beautiful, we need to be the example of passing universal health care for all people in California. I told you that Donald Trump was a liar, right? Yeah. I'm going to give you some breaking news. The federal hiring freeze. Do we know what that is? Yep. That means that there is a freeze of hiring federal employees right now. But Donald Trump, lying Trump, said that that would not affect people who work in healthcare services. So we're talking about Health and Human Services, Medicare. So with the hiring freeze, this is going to create a backlog of appeals of Social Security disability cases. People who need Medicare, their life depends on it. This means that the freeze is going to affect administrative law judges hearing those cases. If they freeze hiring more judges, the backlog is going to be so significant. On January 30th, Marilyn Zom, who is the president of the Association of Administrative Law Judges Union, she has pretty much said that the backlog is going to affect them this way. They will have an additional 526-day backlog hearing Social Security disability cases. People who need Medicare. We are being under attack by this fascist regime that he has put in his cabinet. We absolutely have to support Carolyn Coven. I think we should write her. Remember that name, Carolyn Coven. She's the Commissioner of Social Security. We need to write her and tell her to resist these freezes. We need to write the commissioners of Medicaid and Medicare Services, CMS, and tell them to resist Donald Trump's fascist freeze of hiring federal employees. And I think one of the most inspirational things I heard when I went to DC protesting the crowning of Trump was I heard a reverend get up and speak, and he said this to us. We are no longer protesters. Donald Trump is president. We are resistors, and we need to resist from the top to the bottom, from the bottom to the top up. I want to thank everybody here. I've been doing this for 10 years. I deal with death on a too frequent basis, as I mentioned, and when I was 22 years old, I thought to myself, why don't we have Medicare for all? And you know what the baby boomer Republican coworkers said to me? They told me I was a communist. So to see everybody here makes me really happy. Thank you all so much.
Give it up for Roxanne. Medicare for all. Medicare for all. So what? Medicare for all. 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 Perfect. All right. So we're gonna get our next speaker coming up. He's a good friend of mine. I met him during the movement last year, and he's here fighting. His name is Aaron Holloway. He's a proud California transplant by the way of Washington State. He's a native Texan and graduate of Prairie View A&M University. He has always identified with progressive beliefs and causes, but became politically active when Senator Bernie Sanders launched his 2016 campaign. Aaron is a pledged donor to the LGBT Center, Keep a Child Alive, Doctors Without Borders, and Pacifica Foundation. Aaron fundamentally believes that healthcare is a moral issue, and a country whose people are sick and poor cannot be strong. So give it up for Aaron Holloway, please.
It would be very remiss of me not to thank my friend and future Congressperson, Kenneth Mejia, for inviting and encouraging me to use this platform to speak on this important issue. I come to you today as a proud black gay man. I come to you today from the brink of death in a hospital bed in Beaumont, Texas, to affirm to you that yes, Medicare for All is a LGBT issue. Today, there are more than 1.1 million people living with HIV/AIDS in the United States. Over 506,000 of those are black. Black women account for over 60% of women living with HIV diagnosis. Among gay and bisexual black men may disproportionately affected by HIV/AIDS. My brothers and sisters, we must fight to save Affordable Care Act. We must not forget that private health insurance companies denied coverage to Americans with pre-existing conditions, imposed lifetime limits for HIV care, denied routine cancer screenings for transgendered Americans, and clinics and hospitals could refuse care to LGBT people. We cannot afford to lose the gains we have made with the Affordable Care Act. And we cannot wait another century in this country for universal health care. Frankly, I'll be damned if we do that. These programs have already swept industrialized nations across Europe from the years 1883 to 1912. Healthcare is a human right, and the United States and its people deserves a system which leaves no one behind. That's Medicare for All. Medicare for who? Medicare for who? That's right. We are up against incredible obstacles and opposition on the right and the left. However, as the late great Frederick Douglass has said, power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did and never will. But we have faith. Compulsory sickness insurance systems developed in Britain and Germany by the more conservative governments in power to counter the expansion of socialist and labor parties. The greed of big pharma and their politicians and private health insurance companies must be brought to heel.
Yeah.
And never we the people. Only then we will begin eradicating many diseases, including HIV/AIDS, heart disease, diabetes, and juvenile diabetes that has devastated our communities and stolen our precious loved ones. I do believe this will come to pass because, yes,
We are stronger together. All of you, my beautiful brothers and sisters, I implore you to keep this issue at the forefront of our nation's consciousness. Medicare for all is the greater good, and we must fight for it like our lives depend on it, because they do. Thank you.
Give it up for Aaron! Wow! That was powerful, am I right? Wow! That was amazing. Thank you, Aaron. So now we're gonna bring up our next speaker. She's here to share her story as well. Her name is Kristen Morley. She says, I am a cancer survivor. I have healthcare through a group plan and still pay a tremendous premium. Have enormous bills and still I am one of the lucky ones. I survived. Many don't. I am here and want to fight for those who can't. We are the richest country in the world, yet don't take care of our own. Now is our chance. Give it up for Christine!
So he just did part of my speech. So now I have to find out where it goes. Can you hear me? Yeah. All right. As he said, I am a survivor. I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer stage 3 in 2012, June.
Louder. Just closer to your mouth. That's
all right. Closer to your mouth. You got it. As they said, I had health insurance. I had it through a group plan, so they couldn't kick me off. I was essentially covered, but the idea of being essentially covered is not really covered because your bills, even though you're covered, are extraordinary. You have high deductibles. And just recently, I paid off all my bills from 2012. And again, I'm one of the lucky ones because I'm here. I remember my parents every single month giving me money while I was going through chemo. And I would sit in my room and I would try to figure out which bill I could pay first, which bill I could leave, which bill I could pay next, which one would be fine before the collection companies would start calling me. If it wasn't for them, I would have lost my house. And again, I'm one of the lucky ones because I survived. And many don't. When I was going through chemo, that's when I truly realized that we are all the same, all of us. That you can be an infant, or you can be old, or you can be black, or you can be white, you can be Hispanic, or Asian, or rich, or poor. There is no difference. We are all the same. Is that right? We all want the same things, all of us. All we want is to be healthy. We want to be able to take care of our families, all of us. Shouldn't we all have the same opportunity just to live? Yeah! Don't we all have the same opportunity to be well? Yeah! To not fear that one diagnosis can bankrupt us? Yeah! Or not being seen because we don't have health insurance? Okay, you don't have health insurance, folks? You can die. All right, it's as simple as that. You can die. We all deserve to have health care, all of us, every single one of us, and we all deserve to have single payer. All of us, Medicare4All, is that right? I have never done anything like this before, ever. And I was so compelled to be here to do something because of what's happening to our country. We have a fascist president who has taken over our country and our rights, and now they woke the sleeping giant, and that is us! longer. We cannot sit idle. This is a gift that we are being given to take back our country. We can do this together. We have to be in the streets. Please, our young people, I plead with you. Please keep coming out. Don't lose heart. There are more of us than them. I am here because I am one of the lucky ones, and I am fired up. I am here to fight for those who can't. I am here to fight for those who won't. And I am here and I will stand up and fight for those who saved my life. The doctors and the nurses who get paid nothing because of our healthcare system. Nothing. We all of us have an obligation to be here, each and every one of you. And we have an obligation to stand up for Medicare for all, for all of us. We all deserve to have it. All of us, single payer, Medicare for all. We can do this. We are the richest country in the world, and we do not take care of our own. And it is shameful. Who has the power? Who has the power? Stand up, fight back, and resist. And please keep coming out. Please keep coming out. Thank you for listening to my story.
Give it up for Kristen one time. She's a survivor. Give it up. All right, for this next speech, her name is Ellie Wheeler. She's right here. She's in the wheelchair. We're going to bring the mic down to her. So if everyone could please take a step back so we could give her space.
There's a ramp, she can come up.
So I'll do a short little bio on what she sent me. She said, my name is Ellie Wheeler. I'm a 16-year-old disability and women's rights activist. I didn't think much about healthcare or disability rights until they affected me directly. I became chronically ill when I was 14 with an incurable genetic disease. This is where my passion comes from. First, my passion to start the Superhero Project, an initiative dedicated to empowering the battles of others and inspiring the superhero within us all. Then it fired my passion to use my voice and story to bring awareness and activism to disability rights. I am not going to back down or stop speaking about what I believe in. I hope my story and voice will be a small part of it, but a catalyst for change. Everybody make some noise for Ellie Wheeler!
I'm Ellie Wheeler. I am really happy to be out here with you. Like Kenneth said, I am a disabled young woman, and that is one of my core identities, and there is nothing that I could have done about it. I had a DNA mutation, a ticking time bomb in my DNA. And when I became chronically ill at 14, I had no choice but to fight. I had no choice but to think about health care. No child, no teenager should have to think about health care. They should be out thinking about what they're going to wear to the next school dance, what girl or boy they have a crush on, not whether or not they will be able to see the doctors they need to survive or be functional. And so I started the Superhero Project, which is dedicated to empowering the fights of others, as Kenneth said, because I, through my own fight, have found that the hardest parts of life can be the most empowering, and I have found the most empowerment through my own disability and my own illness. And my best friend, Shira Strongen, also an amazing disabled young woman activist, is here with me today.
Hi everyone, so my name is Shira Strongen. I'm the founder and activist at Sick Chicks, an international community uniting and empowering young women with illness and disabilities, because being a woman in these days is hard enough. Can you hear me now? Alright, I'm sorry, my lungs don't function so great. Anyway, so I'm 17 right now, and my birthday is at the end of March. I'll be turning 18, and instead of celebrating, I am terrified, because my birthday is a death sentence. when Obamacare is repealed, I will not be able to get insurance. At 17 years old, I've had multiple mini strokes. I've had multiple seizures, 4 major surgeries, and I'm lucky to be standing here today. I will be lucky to be turning 18, and I will be lucky to be celebrating that, but unfortunately, I just can't. And instead, I'm sitting here scared, like every single one of you, that my insurance will go away. Because my life, can you hear me? Yeah? All right. Because my life is still worth something, despite what people tell me. Every day, you have the option to make a decision, and just by being here today, you are deciding to fight back. Each and every one of you has a voice and a story, and use that. Choose to use that, because this is not okay. This is unacceptable. This is premeditated murder.
Healthcare matters, and if we have no healthcare, Shira will die. Please don't take my best friend from me. We need healthcare so that those of us who rely on it to survive, to get out of bed, can have the chance we need to change the world. We want to change the world. Give us that chance.
We're here as teens, and there are so many other young adults out here, and you guys please continue to get involved. It's so easy. Follow on social media, use hashtags, power to the people here. Government works for us. They have to listen to us, so make your voice heard.
I do not want to spend another day hearing my mom come home from work and spend hours on the phone with insurance trying to convince them that I deserve the care that I need so that I am not legally blind and bedbound and in pain every minute of the day. I do not want to have my mother crying to me because she doesn't know what to do because we can't get the doctors to see me. We need another option so that then we can get the care we need. We should not have to pay $300 more a month so that I can get into physical therapy for more than one appointment. I will need physical therapy and other treatments for the rest of my life to be functional and to get the chance that I deserve despite being disabled.
Health is not a guarantee. Ellie and I were both healthy as children, and health is not a guarantee. Look at where we're at now. I'm avoiding the hospital as I speak to you right now because of my lungs not functioning so great. I had a major TIA mini stroke the night before the Common App came out. Applying to college was a pipe dream, and I'll have to choose between paying for lifelong medications or college. So please help us and help yourselves, because even if you're healthy right now, you know somebody that needs this, or you might need it in the future.
It is a privilege to not have to think about healthcare and the human right that is healthcare. I didn't. My family didn't. We were all healthy. That is a privilege. Acknowledge that and use that to fight back for the people who need it, who do not have that privilege. So go home today and do not back down. Bolster up the voices of the disabled people in your communities, because healthcare is inevitably a disability rights issue.
Do not forget disabled people in your activism.
Do not forget disabled people in your activism. We exist. You may not see us, but we exist.
Thank you all so much, and let's just fight back, like Ellie said.
Give it up for Ellie and Shira one more time. All right, our next guest speaker. Her name is Valerie Ewald. She's part of the California Nurses Association, and CNA, and she's also an activist for a single-payer system. So please, Valerie, give it up for Valerie Ewald.
Thank you all for coming out today to support Medicare for All. All right, how's that? As he said, my name is Valerie Ewald. I'm a registered nurse. I'm a proud member of the California Nurses Association. And we're a part of the National Nurses United. We nurses are proud to stand with our patients, and I want to know, will all of you here today call for healthcare justice through improved Medicare for all?
Yeah!
Good, I knew you would. I truly have always believed that our country should have a truly universal healthcare system so that everyone could have equal access to healthcare. Even as a high school student, many years ago, I dared to suggest that our country could benefit from such a program. Then I was met with strong opposition, called a lot of names. But today we've clearly come a long way to have all of you people here today. I don't know how many are here. I'm not a size queen. What's the size of our crowd today? 500. Woo! But all of you are here today ready to join this fight for improved Medicare for all.
Yes!
Like I think a lot of people, I was really hopeful when the Affordable Care Act was passed under President Obama. It was flawed and costs were still high for many, but it was progress, and I hope that it would be improved. Over the last few years, I have spoken to so many patients and others that have health care for the first time in their lives. And I was especially happy that those with pre-existing conditions could no longer be denied coverage. Still, as a nurse, I see patients continue to struggle with the costs. I have seen patients delay care until they could afford insurance through the ACA or until they were old enough for Medicare. That means they come to us sicker, require more complex surgeries, and have a higher chance of complications and even death. I see patients anxious about their copays and who can't afford the medications they need. And now, we have a new president who seems determined. He's this guy in the White House who seems determined to destroy our health care and bring us back to the dark ages.
Not my Cheetah.
Not my
He
Cheeto.
says, and I quote verbatim, "We're going to have a health care that is far less expensive and far better," unquote. I say, we can help you, sir.
Yeah.
All you have to do, Mr. President, is give us Medicare for all. It really is the only solution that provides quality care for all and saves money. And by eliminating greedy insurance companies, billions of dollars will be saved. For over 50 years, seniors have had improved access to health care through Medicare. It's time we truly solve our health care crisis and open it up to everyone in this wonderful country. Woo! But until that happens, we won't be held back here in California. It's time for California to lead and show that we can truly create a just health care for all.
Yeah!
We nurses are working to do just that as a part of the campaign for a healthy California, and we hope you'll join us.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask you to take out your phones, or instead of just taking pictures, I'm going to ask you to text something. You're going to text the word healthy CA. It's all one word. And you text it to 69866. So the word is healthy CA, all one word, to the number 69866. And you'll get a link to sign up for our campaign for a healthy California with updates. And you'll learn ways to help build on today by fighting in your community. Okay, the text is, all right. The text number is 69866. And you're going to be texting healthy CA.
One word or two?
One word. And we'll text you updates, and it'll help you to work in your own community and continue our fight. Thank you. And I wanted to say, I heard a lot of people talk, when I tell them where I work for UCLA, oh, you're so lucky, you have great benefits and health care. It shouldn't be luck. I mean, it's not luck, it's a right. You know, I have a pre-existing condition myself, and maybe someday I would like to step back and take a lesser job, but I'm afraid to because I'll lose my health care. So I really appreciate all of you coming out today. I got a little chant if you want to, if y'all feeling frisky. Love it, improve it, Medicare for all. Love it, improve it, Medicare for all. Love it, improve it, Medicare for all. One more time. Love it, improve it, Medicare for all. Thank you so much.
Love it, improve it, Medicare for all. Love it, improve it, Medicare for all. Love it, improve it, Medicare for all. Give it up for Valerie one more time. Thank you to the California Nurses Association and the National Nurses United. One of our last speakers is up. His name is Dr. Paul Song. He's the co-chair of the Campaign for a Healthy California and also from Physicians for a National Health Program. Please give it up for Dr. Paul Song.
First of all, how many of you were inspired by the stories you heard today? And how many of you were even more pissed off by the stories you heard today? My name is Paul Song. I come before you as the son of immigrants, first and foremost. I come before you as an oncologist who has seen far too many of my own patients go bankrupt strictly because they came down with cancer. I come before you as someone who has seen far too many of my patients who were undocumented or from communities of color present with late-stage cancer because they could not get access to preventative screening or early care. Let's make no mistake about it. While the ACA did a tremendous amount of good, we still have a grossly immoral and unjust healthcare system. Even without a Republican repeal, 29 million people will remain uninsured in the United States. 3 million people will remain uninsured in California, of which 350,000 of these are children. And because the Affordable Care Act was largely written by the private insurance industry and pharmaceutical industry, there is still no insurance rate regulation or provisions to stop outrageous drug prices. And as a result, 1 out of 3 people who actually got coverage as, due to the Affordable Care Act delay seeking care because they can't afford the copays and deductibles. And 1 in 10 seniors still cannot afford to buy the medications they need to take. And sadly, the only thing that Republicans and Democrats could agree upon with regard to the Affordable Care Act was to exclude our undocumented brothers and sisters. Now, while a repeal would be disastrous, and it would take away coverage from roughly 20 million people that got coverage under the ACA, fighting simply to protect the ACA status quo is not enough. We must demand a fight for single-payer Medicare for all. We must fight for a system that covers everyone, including our undocumented brothers and sisters. Provides everyone with the same high quality of care with no co-pays or deductibles. Now you're going to hear a lot of lies that a single-payer Medicare for all system is too expensive and we simply cannot afford it. But the truth is we can afford not to do it. And several other industrialized nations have shown a single-payer healthcare system can deliver care for everyone much more cheaply. But here's the fact. In the state of California, I don't know many of you realize this, out of every healthcare dollar that is spent in the state of California, 70 cents comes from taxpayers. You take that with the fact that health insurers are taking 25 cents of every healthcare dollar away from actual healthcare, basically to hire administrators to deny care, to pay exorbitant salaries, and to use it for marketing and lobbying. So essentially, we are paying for universal health care. We're just not getting it. Now, Congressman John Conyers recently reintroduced his Medicare for All bill, H.R. 676, into Congress.
Yep.
And sadly, of our 39 Democratic congressmen in the U.S. Congress, only 10 have signed on to that. And soon we will be working with our state legislature in Sacramento to advance a single-payer bill here in the state of California. But already a few Democratic assemblymen have vowed to block it from getting out of committee. And it's clear that Governor Brown has no intention to sign it if it ever gets on his desk. So, as many of you know, I got myself into trouble a couple months ago. And for those of you in the audience that I offended, I deeply, deeply apologize. I want to say one thing, that shortly after this happened, President Bill Clinton called my wife. And he said that he and the secretary actually took the time to listen to my speech in its entirety. And they knew that I was not referring to the secretary when I used that really insensitive term. And I just want to say one thing, that you have every right to be outraged for me to using that term, but I hope you will start to build the same outrage to our members in Congress who continue to do the bidding of the private insurance industry and pharmaceutical industry instead of looking out for their own constituents. So in order to have a real healthcare system for the people, it must be done by the people. But this only happens if we come together and say enough is enough and we demand more. This only happens when we hold our elected officials who continue to put the will of the private insurance industry before us, we hold them accountable. And as we start to advance this bill in Sacramento, this is where we need to rise up and we need to go to all the districts of those people who claim to be on our side but privately will continue to block this. We need to make their lives hell. Finally, as I mentioned, I'm the son of immigrants. My mom came as a refugee during the Korean War. She ended up graduating from Columbia Teachers College, and her first job, her boss was Shirley Chisholm. And Shirley Chisholm, for many of you who don't know, is the first African-American woman elected to Congress. I'm wearing a t-shirt from her president. She's the first woman to run for president. Her motto is she was unbought and unbossed. And I just want to conclude with words from Ms. Chisholm. We have never seen health as a right. It has been conceived as a privilege, available only to those who can afford it. This is the real reason the American healthcare system is in such a scandalous state. She said this back in 1970, and things have not changed. Well, it's time to change. It's time to take back this state. It's time to take back our legislature and get the healthcare system we deserve in this state. Once we do it in the state of California, the federal government will have no choice but to follow the 6th largest economy in the world. Thank you very much.
Give it up for Dr. Paul Song.
What's the name of the bill?
So the bill does not, it's going to be called Healthy California, but we cannot divulge specifics yet. It's going to be it's going to happen soon. We're going to rely on every one of you to get involved. That's why I urge you to sign up for the Campaign for Healthy California. And once it's out there, we're going to need a grassroots movement like Sacramento's never seen before.
Is there a number? Is there a number?
Just sign up for the Campaign for Healthy California. Get involved. We're going to do this for everyone.
Give it up for Dr. Paul Song. And like he said, we're not only here for the speeches and to get educated, but to sign up so we can be involved. So please sign up with the Campaign for a Healthy California. So those are all our speakers. So I guess I'll just leave it off and give you guys some concluding words. My name is Kenneth Mejia, if many of you don't know me. And I didn't put this together, you did. I just put out a call for people to come out and get educated about the issue, and look who came out. All of you guys did. So we came here to not only march for ourselves, we came here to march for our parents, for our children, for the future, for our undocumented brothers and sisters, for our people of color, for the disabled, for the LGBTQ community, and basically for one another here today. And this is bigger than many of us, and that's why it is important that we fight for healthcare as a right. So, as we said, change doesn't happen in one march, one rally. Change happens on what we do after, am I right? So like Dr. Paul Song, I am a son of immigrants from the Philippines. I was born and raised by a single mother who took care of me and my 3 siblings.
and she instilled education in me. And because of my mom, I took that hard work ethic and graduated college in 2 years when I was 20. And I got my CPA license so I could practice public accounting in California, and I've been working 6 years since I was 20. But it was people like my mom who I'm marching and why I'm fighting, because she is also a cancer fighter. So I'm here for her. She fought cancer twice, and she's winning. She's winning. And I march for her because, you know, she's special to me. She's everything I am. I'm not gonna cry, but I always cry when I talk about it. But you know, when you see people who deal with these illnesses, with cancer, and they go through the treatment, things change. It's not the same anymore once you get that first treatment. And she's tired.
It's all right.
But we're gonna fight, you know. But that's why I'm here, and luckily she is a registered nurse, close to 40 years, and she's getting taken care of. But I worry about her and all those who can't get the care they need, and that's the reason why I'm here, why I'm marching, why I'm fighting, and why I decided to run for Congress. So that's why I'm here. I feel like, you know, I'm 26 years old, and we've seen our elected officials not work for the people. So, like Bernie Sanders told me on TV, he said you need to get involved in the political process. We need young people to step up, listen to the community. And that's what I'm doing. I'm here like many of you. I'm nothing special.
Yeah, you are.
I'm just like all of you here. I work 9 to 5, but at the same time, I'm trying to change the damn world for the better. So this is special for many of us here today. First of all, can we give it for all the amazing speakers here today? And this is where we go home and we fight back. This is the time we tell our parents, our friends, our family back home who can't be here today to learn about single payer. We're here to tell them that we're the only nation, the major industrialized nation on earth, to not provide health care as a right. We're here to let them know that we could actually save $500 billion or more by moving to a single payer system. We're here to let them know that we're spending close to $9,000 on average per person on health care due to administrative costs and the bureaucracy we call the health insurance industry and big pharma. So we're here to expose the system. We're here to let them know that there are people at the top who are making decisions for us. And if we don't get involved, someone else is going to get involved and make the decisions for us. And that's why we're here today. We're here to take we're here to take a stand, and we're here to fight back. We're not only here to resist Donald Trump, but we're also here to take the offensive as well. Because he could only resist for so long, and there's going to be a time when they call you to take that stand and to take that first step, and that's what we're doing here. We're going to let our elected officials know, if you're not fighting for us, we're going to kick you out. Am I right? I don't care if you're a Republican or you're a Democrat. If you're not fighting for us, you're going to get out, because healthcare is a human right. Am I right? And we have something special here. We're going to go home and we're going to let them know about what we're going to do in California, but also in our Congress. And like Dr. Song said, HR 676 is a bill that's being presented again. I think it's more than 10 years since this bill's been introduced, and it never gets passed. But it's basically Medicare4All through a single payer system. And it would include comprehensive health care, dental, vision, you know, everything you need basically.
And the time for that is overdue. And this is where we fight back. Currently only 56 representatives have sponsored that bill. And this is its 10th plus year being reintroduced. And you know, I don't want to make this about me, but if I'm elected, I will sponsor and support that bill. And like I said, healthcare is a human right, and we all deserve to live. And no healthcare company or big pharma drug company can decide what our life is worth. Am I right? So what do we want? When do we want it? Now! What do we want? When do we want it? Now! So everyone, I implore you to please stay involved, stay engaged. Sign up with the Campaign for a Healthy California here so you can know what to do when the plan of action calls, because we're going to let you know. And there's a strategy in place. That's why we're all here today. And I hope to talk to many of you after this. We're going to be here till 2 p.m. I'm going to play some music and we can all get to know each other on a more deeper level. But thank you, everyone. My name is Kenneth Mejia. And I want to end this chant. It's time to fight for healthcare as a right. It's time to fight for healthcare as a right. It's time to fight for healthcare as a right. It's time to fight for healthcare as a right. Thank you, everybody. Please get involved. There are tables here. Sign up. I'll play some music. Thank you, everyone. Get to know the speakers and everybody. Thank you.
And he's efficient, right on time. Great rally, great march. Get a little higher here.
Beautiful.
Great rally, great march. What's up, revolutionaries? DC here. You've been watching. Oh, Chella's got some interviews for me. What you got, babe?
He's a nice young fella.